Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sober is Dope. And this is our episode about hyperosmia, chemical sensitivity, and super smellers. And I just wanted to give everyone out there an update because it's important. First of all, I want to say since our last video, it feels like it's been a year. When I did that last video, I was probably a year. It was the first year. I was a couple of months in on the freshness of the experience of dealing with hyperosmia and chemical sensitivity. And I was extremely frustrated and lost. And I just really wanted to share that with the world. Because at the time, it was almost impossible to explain this to my family and friends. It took almost a full year to get my family and everyone on board. And then it still came with a lot of resistance naturally, because when you're dealing with chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia, which is when you're very sensitive to scents like perfumes, detergents, food, pretty much anything sets you off. You start to experience multiple symptoms, headaches, migraines, burning in the chest, shortness of breath, dizziness, frustration. It feels like you're trapped. You can't do anything. The smells all over you. It's neurological, emotional, physical, psychological. It's everything combined. It's really tough. But to connect my point, getting a family to be on board takes time, because you're making people, or you're asking people to change their lifestyle and their known behaviors, which is hard. You know, switching up detergents overnight to a scent-free detergent is not easy. You know, throwing out your perfumes and not wearing perfumes when you're accustomed to putting them on, or colognes when you're accustomed to putting them on for work, not easy. Somebody burns food, I'm busting out my room. What happened? Who burned something? And they're like, we just said a little steak. It's nothing burning. Everything is amplified with chemical sensitivity, and it is a nightmare. And it has been a really tough year and a half for me, right? So I want to give you guys an update. First thing first, I've been to an ENT specialist who looked at my ear and nose and said the structures of my ear and nose are fine. The same ENT doctor from Queens, New York, told me also that the medical community has no incentive on treating people with multiple chemical sensitivity, because according to them, there's not enough people or data or enough outcry for them to spend the money. So the science hasn't caught up yet. Although we have MCS.org, multiple chemical sensitivity is a known problem, hyperosmia is a known problem. But ever since COVID-19 and the pandemic, it just seems as if the numbers have grown, or at least people are speaking about it more, but the medical community did not catch up. So the ENT doctor sat me down and said, look, you're gonna have to learn ways to cope creatively. You might have to find a specialist somewhere in the country that's actually working on this, because maybe they can help you. It was very it was sad, because I was seeking help and wasn't getting it. All right. So the next part of it is I went to a pulmonary doctor. They took an x-ray, they did a CAT scan or x-ray, I forget, but they was able to look at my lungs and say, your lungs look good. There's nothing wrong with your lungs. Right. Now, I didn't go and do extensive testing, but I'm sure I have to look at my brain, probably have to do more deeper dive on my nose, probably make sure there's nothing with my lungs. But the doctor did tell me the medical community is not going to be that much help. You're going to have to be very diligent and vigilant to really treat this thing and to mitigate it. The other thing they suggest is antihistamines, ibuprofen, and nasal sprays. Right. I did, and breathing pumps, butyrol. I took all of that, didn't help. I mean, I think it was more placebo. Like whenever I take the pump, my lungs, it does alleviate some of the lung issues that's activated by the sense sensitivity. The ibuprofen was keeping me somewhat numb, but I have a big theory on ibuprofen that's a game changer that's going to help you guys. So before I go into my update, the good news, the tips, I try to get the bad news out the way first, that it was a bad year and a half. The doctors couldn't help me. I was pretty much on my own. And from last summer, when you saw the first video to now, which is a year later, a summer later, I'm happy to say within the last month, I would say in the last 6 weeks exactly to date, I have been seeing mild to moderate improvements, which is a big deal for me, because 1% to 5% of an improvement is a game changer as far as being able to live. Now, do I still have discomfort in my chest? Yes. Do I still get affected by scents? Yes, but it has to be long exposure, right? I'm able now to tolerate scents a little bit better. I was able to go on a train, sit next to people with scents. I had to go to 2 funerals. I was able to sit around people with perfume and hair stuff on, and I was fine. I just went to a barbecue and I sat out there, and there was food, there were people. I was inside, outside. I was fine. It was tough. I was around a bunch of my cousins smoking cigars. It wasn't easy, but I was able to make it. Now, so that's the good news, that I believe we can improve chemical sensitivity, hyperosmia, and this situation with our nose and our olfactory system with a lot of love, a lot of patience, and a lot of feedback. So thank you for everyone in the community that's been like, hey, look, Pop, give us an update. So here's the update. I'm healthy. I lost some weight. I'm doing well, and I'm feeling well. And I have a bunch of tips and theories on some of the causes that could make the symptoms of hyperosmia worse. I don't know the cause of hyperosmia. There's some theories. Lyme disease could be one of them. People who have Lyme disease, if you ever had Lyme disease, I would say check your doctor, have them test for Lyme disease, because that's one of the things. If you're around pesticides and you live with an exterminator, any harsh chemicals at your job, if you have exposure to that, you have to try to get another job, leave it. I was an exterminator for 7 years, and I think the extermination was pretty much what really gave me the neurological and olfactory sensitivity that magnified the hyperosmia and chemical sensitivity. I think if I never took that job, I most likely probably wouldn't have this issue today. The other thing that could cause multiple chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia is COVID-19. An effect of COVID-19, long hauling or long haulers that they call it, is chemical sensitivity. Now, for some people, you lose your sense of smell, which I'm like, bring it on, baby. I want to lose my sense of smell like yesterday. I was entertaining to see if it was a surgery that could damage my olfactory nerve so I couldn't smell anything. That's how desperate I was. And I will say at times it was so sad that I really was just depressed, man. Chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia causes a lot of nervous energy, anxious energy, and fear. You don't know what's going on with you. You could be healthy. You don't know if it's cancer, right? I'm sure the hundreds of people that responded, none of us have cancer. I don't think it's cancer. I think it's our sensitivity of environmental issues. So my top theory is autoimmunity. I believe that this is an autoimmune response to something we're doing in our daily life that's toxic for us. Now, let me explain a little bit about autoimmunity. Autoimmunity is when something in your system, something foreign. Now, mind you, medical disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Please consult your physician, but I'm trying to kick it with you guys. Autoimmunity, and I'm breaking it down in layman terms. If something is foreign in your system, your immune system is going to try to locate it, identify it, and kill it. When multiple things become foreign in your system, like cells, a bad cell, maybe a cancer cell, They have something called cellular mimicry, where a damaged cell can mimic a good cell. So now your immune system can't tell exactly what's bad. So it starts to attack everything. So with autoimmunity, which suggests the name, you have this automatic immune response that's on autopilot all day, just shooting at everything in your body. So for some people, it could create organ failure. You have lymphatic issues and all of these different issues, bloating, and just autoimmunity. It's a whole array, rashes. It could be anything that manifests itself as an autoimmune issue. I believe hyperosmia and this chemical sensitivity is a default. No, it's a defective aspect of our immune system. So something related to our gut, maybe it's our gut bacteria, maybe we took too many antibiotics, killed off some bacteria that was responsible for our immune system. It could be one bacteria that was ancient and rare that we don't have, that we lost somehow through medical intervention or lifestyle, or through COVID or Lyme disease or whatever, that could have caused us to lose the immunity to tolerate scents. So why do I think that, and why does this make sense to me? There could be a person sitting right next to me with a healthy immune system, and something could be burning. And for me, it smells like death and the end of my world. And they'll be like, it's fine. And they'll just go about working. I'm like, open the window. Why are you not opening the window? Someone could spray Febreze all in someone's face, and they'll go, that smells good. Febreze and air fresheners has thousands of toxic chemicals. A person with hyperosmia, chemical sensitivity, can sense that. We don't have the immunity, which is a good thing, to defend us from invading or toxic scents. Average person does. So what could be considered a superpower actually can make us healthier, because now we're more aware of the harsh chemicals in everyday products. Detergents, totally toxic. I smell detergent, I feel like throwing up. It's too many chemicals. We don't need that much chemicals to clean our clothes, trust me. Hair products, too many chemicals in the average hair products for both men and women. You got lye, dyes, all of this stuff, totally toxic. Cigarette smells, third hand, toxic. Burnt food, a carcinogen. We know that burnt barbecue or burnt food is a known carcinogen. Smelling it, you're putting all these mycotoxins and toxins in your system, and it's just bad deals. What else? What else bothers me? Pesticides. When I go walking at night now, as soon as I hit the park, I could get to the park and walk, and within 1 foot say, I can't go no further. I could smell the pesticides they sprayed. I actually could detect any change in the environment at any given time. I could be sitting in my room and I'll know someone is in my house, even if they were silent. I'll say, someone's in the house, I smell a new perfume. So this is almost a superpower, but for the average person, their immune system does the heavy lifting. So something is off in our immune system. That's the reality. For anyone that's new, I think it's related to your immune system, your gut health. Now, leaky gut and autoimmunity. A lot of us may have leaky gut, or it may be somewhat sugar related or diabetic related or metabolic syndrome related. These are different aspects. Now, listen, I don't have all the answers. I'm giving you an array of tips and ideas, because you never know what may work for you. But I'm going to explain to you why I'm doing better today. I'm not 100%. I still have a long way to go. I'm only 6 weeks in, but I feel like I'm 10 to 20% better than I was last year, which allows me to live somewhat of a more normal life within the last 6 weeks. The last 6 weeks has been very, very good to me. Like, I'm able to be normal again. I could go to the park. I could smell something unpleasant and be like, oh, hold your breath, walk away. Fine, right? But last year, I'll smell something and go, oh my God, what's that smell? It's all over me. Like, I will panic. And that panicking is what really does us in. So let me get to the things that first of all, I was pre-diabetic. All right. I got off my lifestyle, my diet. Now, to give you guys some context, when I say sober is dope, I know this subject on the Sober is Dope channel is different, but obviously you guys know I'm sober. I'm 9 years sober from alcohol, and I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't take any alcohol. I'm 100% sober, and I'm happy today. I'm 9 years sober. So I don't have the issue of alcohol. My thing was, I just started eating too much in the pandemic, and I think I gained a lot of weight. I think I was at the height of it, 240 pounds. My weight to be healthy should be somewhere between 175 and 185. I'm 5'11". So I'm literally close to 50 to 60 pounds over. I was close to 50 or 60 pounds overweight last year. And throughout this year, it got worse. And I kept getting sick with the hyperosmia. So my stepmom pulled me aside and said, listen, years ago, you taught us about the ketogenics diet. You know you're pre-diabetic. You reverse your pre-diabetes on the ketogenic and plant-based diet. What the hell are you doing? You have this issue with your nose and you're going around eating anything you want. You're overweight. We obviously see it. You should look better. You're not going to feel good. So then I started thinking to myself, inflammation at its ground level is based on many factors, but glucose and sugar is one of the main factors. Processed foods, carbs, and sugars are the precursors for inflammation in the body. Animal fat is too, but you can't. I was doing both. I was doing meat and I was eating processed foods and sugars and carbs. That's a recipe for disaster. That's how come you get very insulin sensitive and you get diabetic and it's just a mess. So I said there's a connection between inflammation. Inflammation, it means that something in my nose, maybe my olfactory nerve is inflamed because it's autoimmune related to my gut. And I'm taking all of these antibiotics and ibuprofen. I'm eating all of this sugar and I'm depressed. And the fear and the depression is amplifying the symptoms and weakening my immune system. I had a weak immune system, right? I wasn't eating enough vegetables. I wasn't eating enough antioxidants and fruits. I was eating way too much of the wrong things. So when I made the scientific connection and remember when I was healthier, I said to myself, I know how I'm gonna deal with this. I'm gonna start reducing inflammation in my body. And I'm gonna get my gut microbiome back under control. Means I have to eat a lot more fiber, a lot more vegetables, a lot more fruits, a lot more healthy fats, better protein, cleaner source proteins, and cut down on the sugar, processed foods, and carbs. I did all of that. Tomorrow, well, in 9 minutes, it's 11:51 Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. In 9 minutes, it will be 6 weeks to date that I've been on the ketogenic diet. I have cut my sugar down dramatically, and I have a bunch of hacks. And I have to tell you, within the second week on the ketogenic diet, I started to realize there was hope. I was able to tolerate scents a little bit more. That's the first key. So take notes. I want you guys to take notes. Y'all know me. I'm Pop Buchanan, the guy from the first episode. This is the follow-up. Take notes. I'm bringing it. I just didn't want to come back and talk to you guys. I wanted to give you some real jewels. The next tip, my sister, she's brilliant. She said, the whole family now, when we go to school and work, have difficulty dealing with scents, because we created this artificial environment that doesn't mimic the real world. So in my house, there's fragrance-free dish soap. Jergens soap is what I use. Jergens doesn't trigger me, but it might trigger some people. I use peppermint soap and Jergens soap. But for a while, I was just trying to use scent-free soap from Dove, but it was too chalky. So the soaps that they're using is the most minimal scent, no perfumes. The detergents here, hold on, wait right here. I'm gonna bring you the detergent that we're using. Hold on. So to give you guys context, we've been using the Arm & Hammer free and clear. Okay, stuff like this. So we had a dish detergent version, shampoo versions, laundry, using this to clean. Murphy oil soap was something I was able to tolerate. It is annoying. Now, there's a difference between chemical sensitivity of stuff that triggers you and make you sick and stuff that borderlines that's just extremely annoying. Like, I hate that scent. I don't like it, but it's not going to kill me. But my sister made a great point. She said, if we're all experiencing discomfort now in our natural environments when we leave the house because it's very restricted, there's a use it or lose it component to this, where if you don't expose yourself to things, you're not going to have the immunity to deal with them. So you have to expose yourself to stuff so your immune system knows this, our body doesn't like this smell, so we need to activate the gut bacteria, send out the hormonal signals to build the immunity up to deal with this thing. But if your environment is artificial, just because you can't tolerate these scents, you're just going to get worse. You're going to lose the immunity to deal with these scents. So I started slow. I told my girlfriend, I said, you know what? Because my girlfriend couldn't even get her hair done. She would have to get her hair done and wrap it twice just to be in the same room with me. It just got bad. She couldn't wear makeup. It started affecting her self-esteem and how she felt. And I felt like I was now making the quality of my family's life really poor, because they started getting like it's just very difficult to deal with someone that has chemical sensitivity. But I said to my girlfriend, I said, listen, go get your hair done today, and I promise you I'm gonna try my best to tolerate it. So I did. She got it. Soon she came in the room, my body and my blood warms up. The first signal that something is really toxic for me, my blood gets warm. I start sweating. I start having anxiety and my blood boils. And then I know like something is going on in my immune system. My immune system is not prepared for this, and I'm gonna get sick. The worst case for chemical sensitivity for me is I get a nasal infection that leads to an ear, nose infection, and then that leads to flu-like symptoms, and I have to take antibiotics and a bunch of cold medicine. So it wasn't just that some things was uncomfortable. I'll get sick 4, 5, 6 times. Last year I got sick 7 to 8 times. I have like 20. No, honestly, I had about 5 prescriptions for antibiotics, another 6 prescriptions for ibuprofen, about 10 prescriptions. I was taking everything, man. It was tough. So if you don't use it, you lose it. So let's go back. 1, cut sugar, carbs, and processed foods. Reduce your inflammation, reduce your weight, and that should take pressure off the nose. Tip number 2, you don't use it, you're going to lose it. Use your nose to build the immunity. So one thing my sister said is, how about you take a little bit of perfume and you put it on a Q-tip and you smell a little bit every day, just a little bit of each nose every day. You know, you go to what you fear. So with one of the detergents I hate is Gain. Gain is too strong. Hold on. I'm not going to go around the house and collect stuff, but I have Gain over here that I hide. Some of my family members still use detergent, but they use it outside the house. But the stuff we use in the house is this. But with the Gain, it's in the closet hidden. I try to hide it all over the place so they can't find it. It's funny, man, the things we do with chemical sensitivity. But if I were to go to the Gain and slowly try to smell it one day, put it down, do that once a day for a whole month, there's a possibility, not 100%, but by the end of that month, you may be able to tolerate it a little bit more than it just totally destroying you, right? So I'm sorry, guys. And we're artists over here. As you can see, I got all these COVID tests and stuff because you never know. You just never know. But yeah, so if you don't use it, you lose it. Next thing. All right, let's get organized. I cut down the sugar, then I started giving myself exposure. The next key is going to be the most powerful thing in the world. I stopped taking the ibuprofen. This is the one game changer, I think. I was taking ibuprofen every single day before I went to bed and at any time I had an episode. So sometime 2 times a day. Now this is 200 milligrams. I was taking the prescription versions, which was 400 milligrams for a whole year. Now let me explain the problem with this and NSAIDs. Now, I'm gonna keep this here. Listen to me closely. If you have chemical sensitivity or hyperosmia and you're taking ibuprofen, this puts holes into your stomach. It cuts through your intestinal line. It's not good for long-term use. So most NSAIDs causes stomach problems. Now, if you have a hole in your stomach lining or a hole in your stomach, that is leaky gut. What is a symptom of leaky gut? Autoimmunity issues. There's a connection between our gut health and our nose. I stopped taking this no matter what. I will no longer take ibuprofen. This is week 3, the epiphany came. I increasingly became more tolerable to sense after cutting out the ibuprofen. So now I cut out processed carbs. I cut out sugars. I cut out carbs in general. I'm on a ketogenic diet. I increase my vegetables and fruits, green leafy vegetables, magnesium, you get potassium and stuff. And then my fruits. Every day I blend blueberries. I take Irish sea moss. I put all type of stuff in my chia seeds. I have a very nutritious shake I make daily. That helps the immunity and it helps to deal with the inflammation. I start using my nose more. The 4th thing that I'm telling you that I did that I think helped me is I stopped buying coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, or the corner store, bodegas, or any random gas station or anything. Now listen to why I thought about this. Every day you get up, you go buy piping hot coffee that's most likely not organic, that has a bunch of pesticides in it, and you're putting it in styrofoam or plastic cups or paper cups. And some of these paper cups has a line of glue on the side holding the cup together. And some of us will reheat this in a microwave, or we'll let the coffee sit and we'll drink it when it cools down. These styrofoam and plastic cups are not designed to deal with piping hot coffee. As soon as the coffee hits the styrofoam and the paper and the plastic, it starts to biodegrade. It puts chemicals out there. I think they call them PCBs and stuff like that. It puts all type of chemicals into your coffee. You mix those chemicals with the pesticides from the coffee because you don't know where these coffee beans are coming from. Coffee beans and a little bit of moisture builds mold like wildfire. Now, I'm in recovery. Alcoholics Anonymous and all of that. You know, we love our coffee. So I'm not here to knock coffee. I just started buying coffee and making it in my own place and put it in mugs, ceramic mugs and metal or whatever, you know, real mugs. They have these new Folger coffees that's in the tea bag format. I use that. This is week 3 now, week 3 and 4. So I'm on week 6. As soon as I stopped doing that, I totally started feeling a lot better. Now I'm changing up stuff in my environment dramatically because I had to start saying, look, the doctors can't help me. They can't help us with MCS right now. Maybe 10 years from now, 5 years from now, or if enough of us start talking about this, they'll be able to help us. But I promise you, every good doctor is going to sit down and say, we don't have the resources. We're just going to treat the symptoms. So I had to start getting healthier. 5, I started walking every day, getting outside every day. Every time I smell something that's a trigger, I'll inhale it a bit to get that immunity up. I'll understand that I don't like it, and I'll go for a walk and clear my lungs. That changes the game. 6, you have to get back on a natural circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm is very important for sleep. What I was doing, because I was so depressed and because the hyperosmia and chemical sensitivity was so difficult for me, I was staying up all night and breaking day to the morning because everyone is asleep at night. So I didn't have to worry about as much sense. So I think it was a defense mechanism, but it came at a real disadvantage for me, and it hurt me a lot. Because your body can't function if you're staying up all night. You need to go to bed. Now, you can stay up. I don't mind you staying up late, but you got to get up in the morning and go about your day and just go back to bed at night. Your circadian rhythm simply means you follow the ebb and flow of the sun, the rise and fall of the sun. When the sun rises, that's your hormonal signal to wake up. You better be waking up with that sun. Your cortisol and adrenaline is going to wake you up. And that's when you're supposed to be alert. You go outside, you get the sunlight from the vitamin D, you get the fresh air, your brain starts moving. When it turns dark, your pineal gland starts secreting melatonin, right? You get tired, you're getting into that restful sleep, and then you're able to go to bed. What helped me with that is blue blocker glasses that you see me wearing now because it's 12 o'clock at night. And I know that I have the lights on because I'm doing a video, I'm looking at the computer. So if I didn't have these on, it'll delay how fast I could go to sleep once I'm done doing this. Get your circadian rhythms back. Your body can't deal, your immune system takes a hit. I'm gonna give you some facts. They said that scientists, World Health Organization and all that, you can look it up, breaking day and workers who work night shifts are class B carcinogens. So when you work a night shift, you're more exposed to cancer because that's a carcinogen, meaning that it's carcinogenic. That behavior can cause cancer. It's a fact. Anything that causes cancer, it comes from inflammation. Sugar, cancer can only grow in a glycogen and sugar environment. So cutting out cancer, cutting out sugar for me, getting my sleep patterns back, getting off of drugs and antihistamines. Another thing, I should have said this in the section with the ibuprofen. I'm just gonna double back here for a bit. When I cut this off, I stopped taking antihistamines too. Don't take no damn antihistamines if you have hyperosmia. They're just gonna inflame your nose even more. It's gonna open you up. Just deal with the discomfort because you'll build the immunity, right? They don't have the answers. The medical community is gonna keep selling us pills, but I'm telling you, this is making me more sick. One thing that helps, simple nasal spray, saline spray. This is a game changer, right? This is simple. It's sodium chloride and some saline. Let me explain how this works. You get an episode where something is bothering you in your nose. It could be bacteria, dust, dander. Once or twice a week, you put this in your nose, you squeeze it, it's gonna come all the way to the other side and come out. You blow your nose, a bunch of stuff is gonna come out. And you go to the next nose, you do it again. You put your head back, you squeeze it, your eyes gonna get watery, you're gonna put all the stuff out. I guarantee you, this saves you with colds. When you start feeling that tinkle in your nose, that's bacteria festering, which is going to create inflammation in your nasal cavity. And that's when you get that nasal infection. It usually travels from your nose to your throat to your chest and you get sick. This is a key component to me being better. If I'm traveling, if I'm going to someone else's house, if I'm going anywhere, I know I could go to any pharmacy and for $5 buy any form of OTC, over-the-counter nasal spray. This is something that's real. Not this. This was something that they gave me. This is a kind of antihistamine spray, as you can see, Buchanan Joseph. I'm serious, guys. I have all type of medication. This stuff has the antihistamines in it and stuff is good, but you don't need all of that. You need simple saline. Simple. We're going back to the basics. So let's do a quick recap. I cut out sugar, got on an anti-inflammatory diet, ketogenic, healthy keto, so it's more vegetables and healthy fats and nuts and stuff, moderate protein, clean source, hopefully organic grass-fed. The goal is to get the plant-based, but use this to lower my glucose levels so I could lower the inflammation. I stopped taking ibuprofen. I stopped taking antihistamines. Build up my natural immunity, healing my gut. You have to heal the gut, okay? Your stomach needs to be flat. You need to lose all of the stomach weight. The fat in your stomach, the visceral fat holds a lot of bacteria and toxins and stuff. You want to get rid of that. You're healthier when you're slimmer. Your hormonal environment, your gut microbiome is better, right? I fixed my circadian rhythms. I started to go outside. I started exposing myself to uncomfortable scents to build an immunity. Now, here's another hack, and this is for people who's in a relationship and older. If you have someone you love, this is going to be a stretch. Don't get mad at me for saying this, but one of the things I did with my wife, I said, I want to be intimate with you in an environment where the scents are strong, because there's euphoria associated with that. So if I could do something that makes me feel good, like let's just say kiss, go out on a romantic date, you know, cuddle, make love or something, while my girlfriend's hair is done and she has perfumes and stuff on, the moment I get to a height of ecstasy or arousal or what they call endorphin release, where I'm really excited, our brain makes an association that these scents are good for some reason, and you won't really have a problem with those scents. I know that's wild, but that's part of the exposure. Do something that you love in an environment where these scents are, because it's going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to start changing your mental association with the scents. All right. Next thing, big thing, mullein leaf. Now, one thing I'm not going to do to you guys is start putting links in there and saying, go buy this and go buy that. We ain't got time for that. We're trying to heal here. All right. If you guys ever want to donate or do anything like that, you could just go find me, soberisdope@gmail.com on PayPal, Pop Buchanan Cash App. That's it. If you ever want to send a gift, you could donate to the Sober is Dope podcast. But I'm doing this in the podcast out of love. Mullein leaf. This, you could take it in pills or tea, right? This beauty right here, this herb has the ability to clear out and build your lungs up. Part of your olfactory system is the nose, air, chest, and all of this, and your nervous system is your lungs, right? I want to rebuild my lungs. When I have an episode with hyperosmia, I can't breathe, guys. It's like I lose my breath. I get shortness of breath. Mullein leaf. I'm not talking about buying this shit and putting it on your counter and forgetting about it. I'm talking about we need to be taking this stuff every day, making a little bit of tea. All right. The next thing is milk thistle. Milk thistle, liver and kidney detox. Forget the brand, just get any organic or good milk thistle. Milk thistle is one of the only real remedies, besides apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and stuff like that, that designed and clinically proven. I don't know the full study, but there's no doctor or anyone on the planet that's going to dispute the efficacy of milk thistle and liver health. The liver in our body is responsible for removing toxins. If you aid your liver in healing, it's going to heal you from the damaging effects of sugar, fatty liver disease from inflammation from sugar and alcohol, toxicity from the environment. And there may be something that we're allergic to that our body's trying to clear out. Give it the help it needs. Take milk thistle, help your liver. Another good friend of mine, lemons. Every day I get up, And I could tolerate, this is the weirdest shit. I could tolerate fruits and vegetables and stuff that's from God, oxygen, fruits, and I don't have a problem with this stuff. The only thing I have a problem with is lavender. I can't, it's too strong for me. I haven't tried it lately, but this, you cut this, put a little bit in your water, dilute it, drink it every day. It's gonna help you. Also, apple cider vinegar with the mother. At the traditional apple, I would go get it. I just don't want to jump off camera to get everything. I have so much. The next time I do the next video, I'm gonna bring everything together so you can see it. Apple cider vinegar, a little bit of lemon in your water in the morning. You mix it up, you drink it consistently, detox. It helps the lungs. Okay. Am I forgetting everything? Sleep. Try to go to bed at night and wake up. If you're breaking day, if you're taking ibuprofen, if you're eating a lot of sugar, and if you're hiding from people that because you don't want to smell them, you're not going to get better. All right. You want to dramatically reduce inflammation throughout the entire body. Also, fasting helps. It helps me. Fasting helps. Your body could get rid of all of the damaged cells. Your gut could repair itself when you're fasting. Eat a bunch of, when you're not fasting, eat a bunch of fiber. The top fibers that you eat: leeks, cruciferous vegetables, Brussels sprouts, artichokes. These things have so much fiber. Okay, chia seeds. I put chia seeds in my shake. Avocados, stuff like that. Rebuild your gut. Nutrient density is going to rebuild your gut bacteria. Here's the problem, I think we may have got sick during COVID. Some of us may have got colds. Then we took too many antibiotics and killed out too much of our healthy bacteria. You kill too many bacteria in your stomach and in your gut, something in your total environment is going to go wrong, and you're not going to be in a form of homeostasis. Homeostasis is just your body being at equilibrium. Everything is healthy, pH and everything. Now, look, I'm not a medical doctor, guys, but look, the medical community couldn't help me. And a lot of the medical doctors is going to agree with me. I just met with a doctor who agreed with everything. He said, how are you sleeping? Are you fasting? Are you taking herbs? Are you eating fruits and vegetables? Are you meditating? Next thing, stress. If you're in a heightened stress state, this is the biggest thing. If you're holding a secret in, like there's something that you need to tell someone else. Maybe you robbed somebody or you stole from someone. Maybe you did something to someone. Maybe you cheated on your spouse and you feel terrible. Maybe you had a fight with someone and you said things you didn't mean. Maybe you are a liar and you're just tired of being a liar. Maybe you live in a falsehood. Maybe you had a job you don't like. Maybe you're afraid of something. Maybe you want to leave the person you love and you can't. Any type of secret that you hold in becomes corrosive and could create these autoimmunity issues out of nowhere. Only you know the truth, but stress is the number one thing. Are you going for long walks? Are you doing something you love? Are you meditating? Are you doing yoga? Do something in your life that mitigates the day-to-day angst, anxiety, stress, the craziness, and all of that. Take long showers at night. I don't care what it is. Have a ritual. Yesterday, I bought a big bag of Epsom salt, not the one with lavender and eucalyptus that they sell at Walgreens, because I know that'll drive me nuts. I took the plain Epsom salt, dumped half of it in, got in a hot shower, sat there, chilled, and was like, you know what? I feel great today. I got that magnesium from the Epsom salt. I've been walking. My legs is hurting. I feel good. I just came from a funeral. Rest in peace to my cousin. I was standing around everyone. Fine. Barbecue. Fine. Cigars. Fine. Now, am I 100%? I know I'm not, because some days, if I'm doing too much, I'll smell something and get scared and be like, where's that smell coming from? Another thing about chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia is sometimes we'll feel better if we know the source of the smell. That's another thing for me. Like if there's an old cup of orange juice in another room and I'm smelling something in the air that seems spoiled, I'm going to be like, yo, what is that smell? And someone's going to say, what? And I'm going to be like, I don't know. It smells like some type of spoiled fruit or something. I'll start tearing apart the house. Be a lone cup, maybe one of the kids forgot. Oh, here it go. Meanwhile, it's 3 rooms away. Super smellers. We can smell all the little shit. We're sensitive to bacteria. Carpets. Get rid of all the carpets in your house. Check your body for mold. Mold toxicity may be one of the other things. That's why I'm saying we have to detox our liver, detox our lungs, drink a lot of water, apple cider vinegar, get rid of alcohol, get rid of the cigarettes, get rid of the weed and all of that. If you're going to take marijuana, anything, use CBD, and you get the benefits without the crazy lung issues of the smoke and the papers and all of that. Right. This is a sober podcast, but I do recognize that marijuana is legal now and people are going to smoke. So those are my tips. Give me a second. Let me just check to see if there's anything else. I said, update, condition improving, new theories based on experimentation includes weight loss, cut sugars, fix circadian rhythms, wake up at 8:30 every day, stop taking antihistamines and ibuprofen, connection between NSAIDs and leaky gut, autoimmunity implication, stop buying coffee outside and cut out foam plastic cups, step up blueberries and vegetable intake, slowly expose yourself to uncomfortable scents to build back immunity and understand your triggers. Yes, that's all the notes. So what's the final prognosis? I believe if I get to my healthy weight, so I started out at 230, 240. I think now I'm like 215 maybe. So I lost a good amount of weight in 6 weeks. My goal is to get to 185 and I don't want any gut. So if you can see, I still have a little gut here, but it was like right here 3 weeks ago, right? And now I can actually suck it in and it looks kind of normal. About 6 weeks ago, I didn't have the ability to even fake my gut. You know how you could, someone's coming, you're like, oh, quick, suck your gut in. I couldn't even do that. I'll suck my gut in like, all right, buddy, we had capacity here. It was inflammation. Get rid of the inflammation. Your body's going to get better. Also, last, if you go see a doctor, have them check your blood sugar, your fasting blood sugar, your A1C. If you are pre-diabetic or high in sugar, get on a ketogenic or plant-based diet. Here's the trick. You can't eat meat and still eat processed carbs and sugars. You're going to get sick. If you want to eat meat and you're diabetic, then you have to cut out the carbs and the sugar. If you want to eat the healthy carbs and the sugars, then you got to cut out the meat and go vegan. You can't do both, all right? My name is Pop Buchanan. I'm the founder of Sober is Dope. With all things, try your best to be sober. If you're struggling with an addiction, check out the Sober is Dope podcast at soberisdope.com. All right? You can find more about me at popbuchanan.net. Also, I just started making NFTs, which have nothing to do with this video, but I'm proud of our company, Meta is Dope. So we have a new book called Wacky May, The Rise of the Trons, on Amazon. So you could type in Wacky May, The Rise of the Trons, or just Wacky May on Amazon. If you want to support this video, go get one of our books. You can follow us at Sober is Dope on Instagram or Twitter. You can follow us at Meta, META is Dope on Twitter to keep up with me. If you want to get in touch with me, follow me on Meta is Dope on Twitter because that's where I'm at. Now, why am I mentioning all this? The last part of this is find your creative calling, stay busy, because when you're dealing with multiple chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia, it consumes our life. Right? I haven't been on Instagram in almost 6 months. I haven't showed my face in 6-7 months. This is the first time I'm showing my face because I was so depressed. I didn't feel good. I was overweight. I was crying by myself. It was times I even thought about suicide. I'm being honest. I didn't go through with it. I'm not suicidal. It's just that chemical sensitivity is such a lonely road that it was times where I just was like, yo, I just feel like I'm dying and I don't want to do this. But I wasn't changing. I had a big belly. I took nothing. I took antibiotics 5 times this year. I killed off all my bacteria. I was eating donuts and sugars and drinking, putting sugar in my coffee. I was buying coffee from outside 5-6 times a day. I wasn't eating vegetables. I was taking ibuprofen every day. I was a mess, man. And the moment I said, wait a minute, I know better. I know better. I have a company called Monk Healing. Part of the Sober is Dope message is living a healthy life. The depression and the pandemic just pushed me to a dark place, and my lifestyle just changed. So ask yourself, and I want you guys to comment in the notes, everyone, my crew, all my people, tell me how you doing now. It's been a year. Are you better? Are you worse? Comment, tell me what you think. Let's connect. You listen, one day I'm gonna use all of these comments to go to the government and say, look, I'm not alone. There's hundreds and thousands of us. Share the video. Go on Facebook, tell everybody this guy's vocally talking about multiple chemical sensitivity, hyperosmia, super smellers. Yo, what's that smell? I'm Pop Buchanan. I love you all. Thank you. And remember, if you don't change the way you look at, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. Rest in peace to the late William Dyer, Dr. William Dyer. And it's never too late to be amazing. That's my saying. And I believe if you take your health back, you cut weight, you get rid of the drugs, you go on a natural diet, you take your herbs like mullein, milk thistle, lemon, apple cider vinegar, you carry your nasal spray. Anytime you're activated, you flush your nose with just saline. And you keep certain things around that keeps your personal clothing and hygiene good. I'm able to report back that I can use regular deodorant again. I wasn't wearing deodorant for 6 months because I'll be sitting there like a dog running in circles. What's that smell? They're like, it's you. I'm like, what's that smell? They're like, it's you. I'm like, I got to go back and take a shower again. Right. The other day I got cute, try to use a little shampoo and I'm outside. I'm like, what's that smell? And I'm like, it's you. So I can't do everything right now, but my niece used some hair product the other day, and I came out the room and I said, oh, I don't like that smell. What is that? They was like, but I said, you know what? I could tolerate it. And I went about my day. Before I would have to leave the house for 5 hours. It was a mess. So I am improving. There is hope. This video is about hope, ladies and gentlemen. There's hope with chemical sensitivity and hyperosmia. Don't give up. I'm going to give you guys another video in about a month or two. I just don't want to just do videos for no reason. Listen to this video front to back. There's something in there for you. Are you going to bed every night? Don't break day no more. Breaking day is the fastest way to destroy yourself. Don't take no more antibiotics unless you have to. You have real infection. If you have an uncomfortable nasal infection or something, you got to fight it. The antibiotics is killing your gut. Get rid of the antibiotics. Check your gut to see if you have any leaky gut. Get rid of the sugar, because if this is precancerous or if this is something diabetic related, cutting the sugar before it becomes a chronic problem may just make the whole thing go away. This whole thing could just be a bunch of bad decisions wrapped in one, creating an autoimmune condition called hyperosmia. I love you all. Never give up. God bless you. I'll catch you on the other side. Peace and love.